with Lou's Northern Home. I was just getting ready to can some beans, and yes, they are cut green beans that were frozen. I had bought these just a while ago. I think I paid like 25-30 cents a bag at the store, and I need room in my freezer, so they're going into jars. Yep, I want to buy a ham instead of having green beans in my freezer. I want the ham in there. So all I did was I took the green beans, I put them out in long trays, I poured some cold water over them first, and then I drained that off, and then I poured some warm water from the tap over top of them and let them set for a few minutes, and they thawed out. They came to room temperature, and I have already gone on to the next step where I have put them in the jars, and I used Mrs. Wage's pickling canning salt. I only used 1/4 of a teaspoon. You can go by your Ball canning guidelines if you want to put salt, but you do not have to put salt in your canned green beans. I like a little bit of salt in mine, but you don't have to put that in there. The next thing you're going to want to do is, I'm just going to grab anything that's plastic, and yes, this is sterilized, and you want to debubble, get all the air bubbles out, and maybe this might be a little bit too fat, but it's going to serve the purpose for me right now. I'm taking the air bubbles out. If the water goes down too far, I've already added my hot boiling water. I like to keep it right to the rim and not have any beans like, I don't know, sticking up out of the water. That's not a good idea. They do make a special instrument. I do have it here, but I'm not digging it out because I'm in a hurry and want to get these done. It's the holiday time, and I got other things I need to do. But, yeah, there is a regular debubbling tool. Usually what I use is the little gadget that measures your headspace here, but I've been canning so long that I don't really need to judge headspace and whatever. I know from doing it from all these years of work. Yes, and it is work, but for someone starting out, this is a terrific way to learn how to can. You can take pretty much any frozen vegetable, even if you find like a really good buy on organics or something that you want to can. This one I don't have my water in yet. I was waiting, and that one's pretty much got the bubbles out. I may need to add a little bit of water to a couple of these once they've gone down and I've got all the bubbles out of them. And it sort of helps to pack your beans in there and get them in there properly. Sometimes you have to take 1 or 2 out. Sometimes you have to add a couple of them. It just depends on how your beans went in there. But this was a total of 8 of these 10.5 ounce packages. And let's see, we've got 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. And these last 2 are the wide mouths. So we have 11 pint jars of beans. Now, what I'm going to do next is, I'm going to add my last bit of water into this one. And I got that one. We're going to debubble it. That looks good. I'm going to pan over these real quick. This one can add a little dip of water there. And that one can use a little water. You can eyeball it. Usually you can see that little ring there. Unless you're new at this and you want to measure it, that's fine. But I just eyeball it. Like I said, I've been doing this for so many years that it just comes second nature to me. I've been canning beans for as long as I can remember. But those are all topped off. Now I have a little dish here with some vinegar in it, and I'm just going to wipe the top of the rims on these. And I'm going to grab my little handy magnetic wand, and I'm going to grab my first 2. I call them flats or lids. I don't know, everybody calls them something different, but that's what I call them. Get that on there. Take my rings, which have already been washed. And I'm going to show you some, I'll tighten these up fingertip tight. I can't really show you because I'm holding my camera, but sometimes your rings can get oxidation on them from putting your vinegar water in your canner. I try not to use, I'm going to have to straighten that one on with both hands. But needless to say, I'm going to show you what your lids can look like if they get the vinegar in the water. They'll start to look like this. They're not rusted. They are just from the corrosion from the vinegar in the canner. I accidentally put too much in my canner. And usually the reason I put that in is that I have very, very high calcium water and my jars will just be covered in white if I don't put that on there. And yes, it'll wash right off, and they're saying, no, you don't have to put the vinegar in. There's been a big discussion, right, needy homesteader? I'm calling you out on this one. I'm still adding my vinegar. It's only gonna be what's left in this little tiny dish, but it's going in there. But I'm gonna go ahead and finish putting these lids on. I've got my canner here boiling. I'm gonna drop them in there and get them all loaded up. I'm gonna wait till the pressure comes up and I have a steady stream of air coming out the vent, and I will set my timer for 10 minutes. I will let that steam come out, then I will drop my weight onto the top, let it come up to the pressure that I want, and I'm going to can these for, they say 20 minutes in the Ball Blue book. I give them 25 just to be on the safe side. Anyways, I got to turn this pot down, and it's really rolling, boiling here. And while I was talking away, I'm going to be adding the rest of my water. Then I have my lids soaking in, so that's going to go in there too. But nothing goes to waste around here. I hope this helps you out in knowing that if you have frozen vegetables, peas, carrots, mixed stuff, I don't recommend broccoli, but green beans, corn, peas, the frozen mixed, yeah. Dump them in a jar, pour some hot water on them. As long as they're thawed and at room temperature, use your rock pallet method. Just check out your Ball Blue book. It'll give you all the directions. I hope this helps you out. You have a wonderful day.